Hi, and welcome to another review of the features of InVivo dental software. My name is Jim Liebenstein with Instrumentarium and Sordex, and today we're going to review the implant library features. I'm going to talk about using the customized implant library to help speed your process in working up a case and help you control inventory and just make things a lot neater and cleaner as you work planning implant cases within your InVivo software. When we take a look at our InVivo software under the implant tab here, and I've gone ahead and we're starting with a case that we worked last session here when we talked about the actual implant placement. You can see that we've got a number of ways of adding an implant through our Add Single Implant up here, and through adding a single implant on our toolbar on the top row here. And we can choose to do that in 3D mode or in the panoramic mode. When I choose to do it in the panoramic mode, you can see that I have a drag and drop kind of screen here. So we can go ahead and pull up implants from wherever, and these implants that are in our little tray, if you will, above and below this panoramic section here, all are showing the outline of implants that we've gone ahead and customized beforehand. This indicates the implants that I've set up to be in my inventory. So if we take a look at the specifics of this, as this implant here is highlighted, we can see that this is an Implant Direct Legacy 2, 4.2 millimeters in diameter and 10 millimeters in length. So I can, of course, after the fact, go ahead and change this if I need to. But one of the beauties of having this preset inventory of implants, we build up a case of 30 teeth here. But one of the benefits of having this is being able to control inventory. If I'm used to, in a situation where I'm getting ready to place number 28, if I've got a certain implant that I like to lead with, then you don't have to spend any time doing your pull down here. You've got that implant all set and prepared and ready to go. If bone heights are not going to help you support that implant, you'll know right away just by taking a look at this. So it's a form of visual management for you as well. But being able to pull and pull these into place immediately is really a good benefit, being able to fit these implants immediately. Now, of course, when I have these implants in place and I go back to my 3D mode, those will be set in the location that you drag them to on that panoramic. We may have to tweak things like we do in this particular case here. And we're not here to talk about setting the implants. We're here about setting things up. So InVivo Dental works for you the way that you're getting ready to operate with setting implants. So let's take a look at customizing this library. When we take a look at the full list of implants here, Anatomage incorporates an awful lot of implants. If the particular implant that you are looking for doesn't happen to be necessarily covered in the pull-down library of implants, you may know, for instance, that the entire line is based on some other manufacturer's implants, and you can go ahead and place those. They act as placeholders. They hold that shape and that size so that you have a good idea of the fit as you're dragging these and dropping these into place. So if it's not exactly covered in the current library of implants, it's possible that it's based on the implant that you're wanting to use is based on something that you see in here. The other thing is that we can go ahead and set up our preferences so that we always are able to drag as the first line of defense here. You can drag the implant that you would always lead with. This allows you, unless there's some other situation clinically, to show you that you're not going to be able to do it with that implant. But if you're used to, in my case here, if I'm used to setting a Legacy 2, 4.2 millimeters wide and 10 millimeters tall, if that's what I usually lead with in this particular situation, and I drag it into place and find that I don't have room, then I can go ahead and look to see if something else will fit. But you see, by looking to see if something else will fit, obviously it might not be something that we have laying on the back shelf. And so you want to set up your library to encompass what you have on hand. You'll know if you need to change implants from what your defaults are, that you need to talk to your rep and get another different implant in place for the surgery for that particular patient. Now let's go ahead, and the implant customization happens with the little gear up here. This tool, it looks like a gear, is the preferences for setting up the implants. Let's see a number of things right off the bat. We can change our tooth numbering system from universal or the U.S. Tooth numbering system to international, the quadrant numbering system. So this will follow how you normally, the nomenclature that you use for identifying teeth. We can click a couple of different preferences relative to how implants come in. We can toggle things as default on or off as you see fit. We can also check preferences for clipping. So if we want to clip along the long axis of the barrel of the implant, we can check this and it will default as being that. When we highlight the implant little radio button, it will clip to the long axis of the barrel of the implant. Now, if we've got another restoration in place on that tooth, for following the crown down philosophy of restorations here, we can highlight so that we click on the long axis of the restoration or the abutment, and we can also clip around the nerve so that we can kind of spin around. Let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and click on restoration, and we're going to go ahead and put a restoration in place on this implant. We'll highlight that and put a single tooth restoration in place. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put one in. Yeah, I put it on both, but that's okay. And we will go ahead and we've got our restoration in place. And we've got our abutment in place, and what we're going to do here is enable clipping to the implant, and we are able to clip and follow the long axis of that restoration as we follow along here for the one that's highlighted. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the 3D mode here, and you can see that our implants are highlighted in place. I click on this one. This is the one that's going to be highlighted. Back to our preferences. We will go ahead and go to our detailed implant settings, and this is where you set up for your inventory. You set colors and rendering method and so on. We can also show whether there's going to be a collision between implant and your mandibular nerve. We're going to go ahead and jump past these preferences and pull up the implant library customization tool here. And you see that we've got provisions for every tooth for us to highlight and change the manufacturer, the model, and the size for every location. So if you feel that we've got a different type of implant is better supported for this tooth location, we'll go ahead and pull down a different implant. You can see the changes as I say okay. Those changes are recorded so that when I take a look at my add implant library, the change to that inventory has changed like this. You can see that new implant is in place there. This whole idea of being able to equip the implant library with your go-to implant for that particular location is really valuable at streamlining the inventory of implants that you hold on hand, and makes it easier for you to know when you are planning up a case that you're likely to have materials on hand for you to proceed with surgery if that's indicated in that particular appointment. And if you change the way that you do things, changing the implant library is as simple as clicking on the little gear and pulling your implant settings in place and changing the way that you do things. So we'll highlight this one. We'll go ahead and pull back the one that we hadn't placed in the first place. Very simple. Little touch that makes the usability of the software that much easier for you to use. There's not that much more to it. In establishing your implant library, keeping it up to date, you streamline your workflow. You make it that much easier for you to work individual or multiple cases, and InVivo Dental is that much easier for you to use for implant planning. Thanks for your attention. If there are any questions, we'll be able to entertain those at this time.